everyone, welcome back. This is Terry at terryscraftroom.com. Today we're going to make this adorable little box. And how do you get into it, you ask? Because it's all, well, these are the Give It a Whirl dies, and if you turn them around, you have another sentiment here, and there's your opening, your aperture for your opening. And you can fill this with, conversation hearts, or any kind of little candies, Dove chocolates, whatever you want. So let's get started. So what do we need? Well, first of all, you need the Give It a Whirl dies. These are in the annual catalog. You need these two dies here out of that set. And you need a piece of cardstock. I'm using Real Red today. It's 5.5 by 10. And as always, if you miss any measurements or need the score lines or anything, go on over to terryscraftroom.com, and it's all written out over there. And while you're over there, sign up for my newsletter. You'll get projects in your inbox every week. So we have 5.5 by 10, the 10-inch side, scored at 1 inch, 4.5, 5.5, and 9. And then turn it to the short side and score it at 1 inch and 4.5 inches, or 1 inch and then turn it around and 1 inch. It's 1 inch on both sides. Okay, so now we are going to fold and burnish our score lines so you can see them a little bit better. And here we are. Now we're going to we'll start at one end, and this first square here we're going to cut out on both sides. And when you cut them out, make sure you're cutting away the score lines. It'll lay better. There's the first one. Okay, the next one we're going to go skip this whole area and then go to the next little tab. And again, we're cutting away the score line, but this one we're just going to miter the tab. And we're going to do that on both sides. Okay. Okay, and then these last two little tabs, notice I turned this long ways. We're going to cut these going this way. And this is one of those projects, what you do on one side, you do on the other. It's a very symmetrical project, except for the aperture and everything. But the cutting is very symmetrical. Okay, so this is what we end up with. Now, from here, we need two pieces, a piece of Real Red and a piece of basic white cardstock that are big enough to cut our wheel out of. And I've already cut that out. You cut the wheel out, and then you take this piece and cut the aperture out separately. So I've got both my items, or my pieces, cut out here. And I'm going to take the white piece, and on the side that we cut the tabs all the way out, I'm going to lay the white piece down so I know where it's going to lay down, and then I'm going to put a mark, a pencil mark, so I know where, when I go over to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, I can line up that little dot and line this up and cut it out. And remember, this is being cut out on the end without any tabs. And through the magic of video, here it is. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to poke a hole where we made our pencil mark. Okay. And then we need to come back to our white piece and stamp it. And my sentiment, one of my sentiments today is coming from the Share a Milkshake. And this is in the 2023 January through April mini catalog. I'm using the Be My Valentine down here. And the other one is from a retired stamp set that was in a catalog a couple years ago, To Every Season. But you could actually use this Celebrate also. It's the right size. It just needs to be a size that will fit in one of these apertures, because when you cut this out, I don't know if you can see it very well. There are lines right here where these spokes of the wheel are, and your sentiments need to be inside these spokes, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's get a Stampin' Pierce pad, and we're going to stamp the You're So Sweet and the Be My Valentine. Okay, that's all the stamping we have to do. Now we need to put this together before we put our box together. So we're going to glue this piece down onto the top of our box, because we don't want this piece to turn. We want the red piece to turn. So make sure our hole is, because we need to put a brad there. Okay, our red piece, I want to decorate it up a little bit, so I've cut a bunch of designer paper out with this piece, and so I'm just going to pick two. Let's do that one. Maybe I'll do that one and that one, and put both of those on there. And like I said, you can see where the spokes of the wheel are, and you just want to put your designer paper within the blank space between the spokes, just like that. And so this will be on top of here, and this will be the piece that turns. So we want our brad. Where'd my brad go? Here's my brad. I have these cute little Love You brads. I don't know where I got them. I got them years and years and years ago. I've had them for probably a good 10 years. But I'm going to use them. Well, I have the Dropsies today. Okay, so I am going to put my brad down. And I want my, since my brad has something on it, I want my brad to stay showing towards the front of the box. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of tape on the inside, and nobody's ever going to see this, and tape down my brad so it doesn't move when my red piece moves. Now when my red piece moves, my brad should stay in place. Okay, so what I've done was I put my brad in, I taped the back of it so that it wouldn't move when I turn my wheel around. So here I'm turning my wheel around and it's fine. So now we can put the box together. But it might be easier to put our sides on too while it's laying flat. Let me fold and burnish this piece here. I know you watched me fold and burnish one earlier, but I think we switched pieces here. Okay, so remember this is the front, so we're going to put a piece here, and these are 7/8 of an inch by 3 3/8, and they should all fit just perfectly right along here. Okay, so now we've got the top and the sides of our box all all decorated. And it really is easier to decorate when it's flat. But this part you have to do when it's flat because you wouldn't be able to access the inside for the brad. Okay, so the first part we want to do is these two tabs. We're going to put adhesive on them. And I happen to like using liquid glue. You can use score tape, any kind of strong adhesive. The Stamp & Seal Plus would work on this project just as well. But I tend to use liquid adhesive for just about everything. And I use Art Glitter glue. And it's not a glitter, it's just called Art Glitter glue. That is its name. So I glued the tabs to the outside of the front and the outside of the middle here. And now these three that we decorated are going to go down, and you're going to glue those over the sides and glue the whole thing shut. And you may have to reach in your aperture to give it a little bit of support if you want to, but it seems to have enough support on its own to glue down. And there is our box. Right there. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and please leave a comment. I will respond to every comment that is made. Let's put this one on. To be my Valentine. You're so sweet, and that one's open. I will respond to every comment that is made. Be sure and head over to terryscraftroom.com and check out and see what I've got over there. And we'll see you next time. Bye!